What's up, everyone? Welcome to Flip Phone Confessional, a conversational podcast about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Today, we're going to be talking about the legendary video game, about skateboarding in general and what it means to us. I'm Brandon Baker. With me is
Justin Miller. How's it going, everybody?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Good.
How is your life?
Life is good, man.
How come?
Lots going on. Always something going on. Just got back from Hawaii. That was super fun. Yeah,
Sick.
where your movie
that's
was
right.
filmed,
Yeah, exactly. Wait, you were supposed to hit me up about
on a skit.
a random video of you in Hawaii.
Didn't do it.
Not at all?
Nope.
Got it. Forgot about it, or just
Yeah.
like,
Well, also didn't
fuck
have had time. Pretty packed itinerary, but it was super fun. Got
Did
to
you-
see a lot of sea turtles. Went spearfishing, diving.
oh,
It's
nice.
great.
Oh,
Yeah.
how did the spearfishing go? I didn't ask you
It
about
was
this.
awesome. Got an octopus. Ate
Wow.
it that night.
Wow.
Delicious for my Spiros out there.
Nice.
What about you? You went on like a trip. We actually haven't been in front of each other for about 5 weeks now. How was the music festival? Want to talk about that?
I've missed you.
I missed you too.
Yeah, I helped produce, or I'm part of the production team for a new music festival out here in Colorado. It's called Meadow Creek. Yeah, it's been pretty sick. We put on 2 festivals this summer, one with Pretty Lights, one with King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Pretty Lights reminds me of college. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I know, it's crazy. I saw Pretty Lights like 15 years ago, and
Yeah,
they're still
same.
going super strong.
Probably like in Aspen in like 08 or 09.
Incredible.
So good.
Do you like have memories of that, or
I'm
do you
just
have like
trying- it was-
pictures that like represent that you definitely were there?
I went to the X Games in 2008. I'm 99% sure Pretty Lights was there, but I was also heavily inebriated, so
Nice.
it's tough to say.
Nice, man.
But yeah, Pretty Lights all throughout my college was super popular back then. That's so dope.
Yeah, 10,000 person festival in Buena Vista, Colorado.
That's great.
It's called Meadow Creek because it is a meadow with a creek running through it.
Ironic.
And yeah, no, but incredibly beautiful. But yeah, 10,000 people showing up for Pretty Lights this many years later. 10,000 people from 37 different countries all over the world came out for King Gizzard. They were incredible.
So sick.
Dude, it was awesome. Yeah, so life's been packed and busy.
And we're back.
But life's
You've
been
missed
good.
us.
Yeah, exactly.
Hope you've been enjoying all the episodes so far. We're trying to, like I said in the first episode, progressively suck a little bit less each time.
Do you
From the feedback, we seem to be doing that thus far.
Do you think that we're doing that? Do you think that we suck less than we did previously?
Oh, you know me. I'm a pessimist or a was it nihilist? Nihilist?
Nihilist. But give me your honest truth.
I think we're getting better.
Okay.
I think the editing is getting progressively a little bit better. I wouldn't say a lot better, but we're getting there. It's a learning curve. But the feedback has been positive, so we appreciate you for subscribing to YouTube. That's
Yeah.
every day, Instagram, TikTok. Also, our Spotify subscribers have been increasing too. So it's just cool that
Yeah.
we're not just speaking into the void. People seem to like what we have to say. And I know a lot of you have been asking on the YouTube about guests. Yes, we are going to have guests soon.
Yeah.
We are figuring out the logistics. Again, there's a very steep learning curve with podcasting. And it's just me and Brandon. We don't have an editor. We don't have a producer. It's basically a 2-man shop. We're doing our best, especially going into the holiday season. Things are slowing down for the both of us. So we'll be
Yeah.
able to dedicate more time into learning on this stuff, but it's all good. We're still moving forward.
Yeah, or at least I definitely wanted to have guests on once we weren't like
Shitty
pieces of shit.
Yeah. for breakfast.
Right. So hopefully coming up here soon, at least we're starting to feel better about reaching out. So excited for that to happen. So stay tuned.
And going back to today's subject, which you're leading on, is Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I have my PS2, my original PS2 hooked up. Yes, be jealous. And my copy of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, which is not the original, but this is where I got hooked on to Tony Hawk. Brandon, of course, a few years older than me. He was the original that you remember the most. This is the one I remember the most.
Yeah. Tony Hawk Pro Skater debuted September of 1999. And kind of just, I don't know,
Exploded.
took the world by storm. Now, at the time, I was a 15-year-old kid in Southern California, kind of the hotbed of a lot of skate culture to that point.
Yeah.
You were 11?
I was 11, yeah.
And what is your first earliest memory of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater?
I remember this as my first memory. Now, I would say if we're talking about like skating, inline skating, skateboarding,
Yeah.
it was in 99 with Brink. I had an older brother, close to the age of you, huge skater.
Yeah.
Like he had soaps, he had inline roller skates, he had skateboards.
Oh my God. That's great.
And so I just remember me personally being heavy set and also terrified of half pipes or grinding and seeing all the injuries. I had no desire to want to do. I wanted to do it, but without getting injured. So those were my first memories of like sitting watching my brother at a skate park, be the cool kid, make all the friends.
That's it.
Ride, like do tricks. And I'm just like, man, I wish I could get over my fear of that. And I've still never tried to drop down in a half pipe.
Can you skateboard?
No,
Have you ever been able to skateboard?
no,
What's the best trick you've ever hit on a skateboard?
not being on one or not getting injured.
What about have you hit an ollie?
No, I haven't done anything.
Okay, got it. So skating is like pretty foreign concept other than the video game.
For a skateboard, yes. Inline skating, I've done. But that's because I played hockey. I'm comfortable on rollerblades.
Sure.
But like a skateboard, no dice.
When you're growing up, in terms of the difference between skateboarding and inline skating, was one cooler than the other?
I thought both were cool in my mind. I was like, if you could hit like grinding on inline
pretty
skates,
sick. Yeah.
That was dope. But again, if you could do like the grind of like balancing the skateboard on a rail, I'm just like, that is so dope.
Board side.
Yeah. But again, what was that show? Was it called Scarred or Fractured on MTV?
Oh, yeah.
Where all they showed was just the videos of people skating.
I hate that shit.
And just like, oh, look, compound fracture. Oh, look, snapped ankle. Oh, look, broken arm. And my mom was a fear-mongering woman. She is a God-fearing woman. I love my mom. She reminds me of Bobby Boucher's mom from The Waterboy.
Oh.
Not everything's the devil. Everything is like dangerous. Don't do it.
Got it.
You ride a motorcycle, you're going to die. You do a skateboard, you're going to snap your leg. Like there's so much fear-based parenting, and that probably had a very direct effect on my psyche because I was a golden child. My brother was black sheep. I was a gold star. I never got in trouble. We've talked about this before. Right. But yeah, she was always like, no, you shouldn't do that. But she was a doctor. So she only got to see the
compound fracture.
Yeah, she's got to see all the stuff from the show. It's like the aftermath.
Have you ever broken a bone?
One bone.
Okay.
It was my wrist. It's a very embarrassing story.
Okay.
I used to play competitive soccer until I actually got fat. I was actually a really good soccer player. And we were in practice. I was going to do a corner kick. I completely whiffed on the ball. I put all my weight on my back hands as I fell backwards. And then I think it was either my radius or my ulna just popped. It didn't actually break in the conventional sense of like this part snapped. It actually just popped out of the socket. I was actually...
so you dislocated your wrist?
Yeah, it popped out.
Not of your skin, but of your...
Yeah, so it just popped out from its home. I was on a traveling... What was it called? Not Premier League, but what is the competitive league for soccer? Was it Arsenal? Anyway, here nor there, it was a competitive soccer league. It's coached by two Italians who did play professional soccer overseas.
Racist.
And he grabbed my arm and he's like, oh yeah, it's broken. I'm like, oh no, I need to go to a doctor. He's like, yeah, we'll go to... And he popped, the soccer coach actually popped it back in.
Whoa.
And then he's like, just go sit down, go to the Gatorade.
Like, just go sit down and grab a Gatorade.
No. He's like, go put it in the Gatorade orange cooler where all the ice water was and just said, have it sit there.
That's pretty metal.
I was crying so hard after he popped it back in. Like,
how old are you?
This probably was like 98. So I was probably 10 years old.
Got it.
Sobbing, tears just running down my face. And it actually felt better after he popped it in. But I was just like the initial shock of like, this dude just grabbed my arm.
Yeah.
Popped it back in. Then I got to wear a cast, which I always wanted to wear a cast. Like as a kid, because back then you had the neon fucking wrap or whatever color you wanted with lime green. That's just like, it was an excuse to like talk to girls to be like, hey, you want to sign my cast? Like, come on now. But
And then you like take like the cast off, and then you're like Wolverine, like hair grows on
it's
it.
just like, oh my gosh, that is the most pale my skin has ever been.
Yeah.
You're just sticking freaking coat hangers down my arm to try and itch it. But yeah, what about you? Have you broken any bones?
Yes, I've broken many.
Really?
Yeah. I've broken my nose probably 3 times. Once playing basketball, once snowboarding, got concussed snowboarding, went like a 50-50 to like a board slide. The board slid out from underneath me, and I wasn't wearing a helmet, and so my face just went whoop bam on a tabletop. I was wearing sunglasses. And yeah, like the bruise of the sunglass was like around like my eye the next day. Broke my wrist snowboarding.
Nice.
Broke my collarbone snowboarding. Dislocated this left shoulder. Probably.
I've heard that's like one of the nastiest things to break.
What?
Collarbone.
It was a bummer, honestly. Like dislocated shoulder, way worse. And
really,
I've done
as
that.
Far as pain.
Done that surfing, rugby, basketball. Dislocated this.
Rugby?
Broke the growth plate in my shoulder. Grade 2 MCL tear playing basketball. So
was this like, what age did all this happen? Was this all like 20 years old?
This is this is like 13 to like 30.
Wild.
Yeah, sending it, man. Which brings us back to skateboarding, bro.
Send it.
Yes. So in terms of Tony Hawk Pro Skater, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is a skateboarding game.
Yeah.
That came out in '99. That was a kind of similar to the time in which Mario came out. So Mario comes out in N64, and you get to play as a first-person player that can walk anywhere in the world, kind of for the first time ever. Like before this, we're kind of playing more 2D games.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden in 3D, you can kind of go wherever.
Open map system.
Open map, exactly.
Yeah.
So you have
which they had on Super Nintendo, but it was still pixelated.
Right. It's not the same rendering.
Correct. Yeah.
So now you have Super Mario, but you also have James Bond, you have GoldenEye.
You have that classic game, Final Fantasy VII.
Exactly. Right. So and then luckily someone goes, "Oh, we could do skateboarding with this,"
which is so dope.
Which is so sick. I have a quote here from Doug Perry of IGN. He says, "The game's imaginative, deep, and amazingly addictive gameplay, the steady and consistent learning curve, intuitive and natural controls, large, complex levels, jaw-dropping physics, and a perfect soundtrack." Which is exactly what that game was.
Yes.
It was like, oh my gosh, I am 14, 15 years old. I'm in Southern California. I love to snowboard. I love to skate. I love to surf. Johnny Tsunami has already come out at this point in my life. And at the age of 15, basically right for the holiday season, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater gets to come out. And all of the tricks that I don't know how to do, that I can't do, that I wish I could do, I'm now able to do and able to perfect. And it just, my mind was blown. A couple of things. I do know how to skateboard.
Yes, you do.
I'm a decent skateboarder. I'm not crazy. Probably the best trick I've ever landed on a skateboard is probably a varial, which is like a 180 kickflip.
All right, cool.
Maybe a heel flip, throwing a big spin every now and then. I think I've hit a 6 stair before. Nothing crazy though, because as we've already talked about, I've ended myself. Many a times, but basically, I sent it.
You did send it.
My mom herniated her disc in her back when I was 12 years old.
Brutal.
And couldn't drive us to school. And so my younger brother and sister, they got picked up in a carpool, and at that age, I was like, I've skateboarded, and so I skated to school every day for an entire year.
Okay.
And that was definitely like helped with like my learning curve. Also at this time is skateboarding in Southern California is popping off in this huge way. To when I'm going to youth group at my local church on Tuesday nights, they would bring in a mini skate park. They would bring in half pipes, quarter pipes. They would bring in rails that would get us to literally go to youth group. Is why I like went to church. This is
funny story is that skate park that I was watching my brother skate at was at a mega church in Albuquerque.
Okay.
It was as a part of like, what was that? There was like Young Life. Wasn't it called Young Life?
That sounds familiar.
I think it was Young Life. Either way, it was one of those Globo churches, and they literally had a skate park outside of the church, and it was literally all youth group people skating, but it was such a phenomenon. And I think Brink had helped with that on Disney Channel, bringing in more of like that skater vibe. But yeah, late 90s, I associate with skating, skateboarding, like Jinko's grunge style, and of course, like punk, like pop punk music. And I'm curious is like, do you think punk music was associated with skateboarding before Tony Hawk, or was it completely because of Tony Hawk that you think of ska, punk? You could even blend in emo pop punk with that too. Do you think it was because of Tony Hawk you associate all that with skateboarding, or was that before the game?
I think Tony Hawk pushed it, definitely.
Okay.
And it kept what was already that wave.
Got it.
It was like helping build that wave. And as I was thinking about this episode, it's funny because I do think I am uniquely qualified to kind of speak on this a little bit.
Yeah.
One of like the random things I pulled up was I love The Ringer, it's this podcast network. And I was listening to an episode where they were talking about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and this writer who I now follow called Devin Ronaldo, she brought up that Johnny Tsunami was informative for her at this time.
Whoa.
I know, which was really cool. I was like, oh, that's super dope. So shout out to Devin. But no, when Tony Hawk Pro Skater comes out, I'm living in Southern California. Johnny Tsunami is already debuted.
Yeah.
I'm already a kid who loves, again, surfing, snowboarding, skating. And it was just part of the culture. I mean,
especially LA culture, like
totally
South Cali culture.
I'm listening to Sublime. Sublime's producers down the street, like literally the street over from where I grew up. So it's like Sublime, it's like No Doubt, Green Day, all of that is like formulating. Another cool thing that I was thinking about
too. Blink came out in I think 99 is their first album.
Are they from California though?
I'll have to look at where Blink's from. But
there is this part of culture in LA and in Orange County and in Southern California growing up where anyone who grew up there knows about going to parties in which they're from Poway. Dope. They're from California.
Oh, okay.
Sick. Where you would go to parties where high school parties, you would drink a red cup. It would be in this random kind of warehouse, unincorporated part of LA or Orange County. And there would be a band, and people drinking beer, and there's a half pipe. And you're sitting on a half pipe, and people are hitting the half pipes. And it's so like iconic in my mind's eye now, but at the time, you're like, wow, this is super dope.
Wasn't there a movie like based off the history of skateboarding and started in California?
Lords of Dogtown.
That's it.
Which I auditioned for. Well,
really?
Yeah, because there's brown people on that, and there's Asian people in that. The brown guys are
like 05. This kid, he's so good.
Yeah, nice, dude. So Tony Alva is like the Mexican guy who's in that, which I'm brown, but I'm not Mexican, so that doesn't make sense. There's also an Asian dude in that whose name I forget, but who's I think like Japanese. Yeah, he plays like the old guy. He plays like the guy who's kind of shepherding all the young.
Emil Hirsch is in this movie too. Wow, this actually is a really good cast, and no wonder they didn't choose you.
It's a pretty good movie. The Dogtown documentary is awesome.
Really?
Really cool. Yeah. But yeah, auditioned for it. Obviously didn't get it. Yada yada. But I also didn't look like any of them.
Did Victor take your spot? Silly Victor. He could have played a Tony.
Yeah, Victor, and then there was Shamwar. There's an actual
Vincent
Asian dude.
Chino? That sounds pretty.
No, this guy. Don Wynn.
Oh.
Yeah, but he was playing a Japanese dude with long, straight Asian hair. And
Johnny Knoxville was in this movie too.
And a cameo.
Joel McHale. That is wild. Oh, friggin' what's his name from Mighty Ducks? Fulton.
Oh, yeah.
Eldon Henson?
Yeah. It was an okay movie. But
it would have been better with you in it. Let's just be honest.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
That's all that I was looking for.
Okay, but so skateboarding started in California. Culture in late 90s booming in Southern LA, especially with the music genre. I'd say grunge. Grunge was probably early 90s, and then we're getting into punk into late 90s, like Offspring, Sum 41, Blink-182, Goo Goo Dolls.
Totally. And I was that was a major part of my identity.
Not Goo Goo Dolls. What did I want to say there? Good Charlotte. My bad.
No one tell me your name.
When I think of skateboarding, I think of fucking Black Balloon. Baby's pop balloon makes a... Anyway.
No, but I grew up very much in that skate community to where I was definitely rocking all the brands, definitely had the skateboards. Do you know what CCS is? It was like this small kind of magazine that would come out.
Okay.
It was a catalog, a skate catalog.
Skate catalog.
We'd bring it to school, we'd bring it to high school and junior high. We would like cycle through it, and it would have all of the boards, all of the trucks, all of the wheels, all of the bearings.
That's so dope.
Yeah, and this was, we didn't have any phones, so you're actually like looking through to like who you wanted to be. Did you have like skate clothing? Was there a brand that like resonated with you?
So again, this all goes to being fat. There's not very many skate clothes that...
Oh, really?
I mean, I'm trying to think. So I had multiple phases as a kid, because I was trying to fit in any way I could. When I lived in New Mexico in Albuquerque, that was late 5th, 6th grade. I wore Jinkos. I don't even remember the shirts I wore. Probably mostly Old Navy because they came in XL or double XL, and it was cheap because I came from a lower income family. And then when I went to Colorado, I lived in a farm town.
Okay.
Small farm town.
Yeah.
So then I switched from like grunge to, okay, I need to wear Levi's, plaid clothing, freaking bolo tie, like
camo,
terrible stuff. And then when I got to high school, I kind of fell into Hollister, Abercrombie, American Eagle was like my go-tos. When I got to college, all I wanted to be was a beach bum. All my whole outfits were either I shopped at Zoomies or like Quicksilver. That was it. Like Hurley, Quicksilver. That was my vibe. Like just want to be laid back surfer dude in a mountain town.
Thank you so much for taking us through your sartorial history.
Not helpful at all.
So when Tony Hawk Pro Skater comes out, and you get to have your option of any of these skaters, and I don't even know which ones are on 2 or 3.
Let me see the list of who I have for. So for one, you have.
Did you know these names before any of these names before the game comes out? You learned about them.
I think I knew Tony Hawk specifically from MTV, like X Games.
And who's Tony Hawk for those who are listening at home?
He's one of the greatest but he was probably a pioneer, but didn't he broke most records on a skateboard before
on the
next generation skate? Yeah, for a half pipe.
Yeah.
He was the first one to do like a 1080, right?
Yeah, he's more or less the Bill Russell of skateboarding.
He is on the Mount Rushmore of skateboarders.
Yeah. He's like the Godfather.
Yeah. You had Tony Hawk, Bob Burnquist, Kareem Campbell, Rune Flifberg, Bucky Lassick, I know that one, Chad Muska, Andrew Reynolds, Geoff Rowley.
Jeff,
yeah. Alyssa Steamer, and Jamie Thomas.
Did you have any association with these people before then?
None.
Who was
your I was more of like an introvert at that point in time, like, again.
Well, no, it's cool because it's exposing you to skate culture. It's like you actually know these names now.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, when I was playing, I probably knew most of the names, and a few of them maybe I didn't. And it, that was more exposing, but it was like, oh my God, I get to be Kareem Campbell.
Yeah.
Chad Muska.
Yeah.
Which were probably the two that I choose most because I would want to be a black guy. To be a black guy was just like fucking sick. I was like that, and Chad Muska was like he was kind of like the Nirvana. He was like the punk member of like this list.
So for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, which is on behind me, pretty much the exact same list, except they had Eric Costin, Rodney Mullen, Steve Caballero, Daewon Song, and you could unlock Bam Margera.
So that's sick.
Pretty much it was either Tony Hawk that I played with, just because that was like the only person I really knew at that point in time, and then unlocking Bam, or I played as Darth Maul and Wolverine as the unlockable characters too. Darth Maul was the dopest because in this waiting room, when you're selecting Darth Maul, you can actually, as part of like just the nuance of the game as he's waiting there, he chokes out the dude behind the counter with the force, like as you're like selecting gear.
That's right, like right there?
Yeah, right here. And he has his dual lightsaber, and he's just chilling. And you can also play with Wolverines with the claws too.
That's so right.
Yeah, that was my go-to. But as far as like skate culture, this is what introduced me to learn about skaters. And this game actually sold more than Tony Hawk, the first version. So
you have a couple factoids for us?
Yeah, so Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 launched in 99, sold 7.1 million copies, which is insane. In 2000, Pro Skater 2 sold 5.4, and then the following year in 2001, 7.5 for Pro Skater 3.
It's crazy. If 8 annualized sequels, and like there's you have history.
Yeah, you have Pro Skater 4, then you have the Undergrounds, and then they have remasters too.
Do you have a favorite level?
Cruise ship on this was my favorite. Just because there was a trick that if you jumped off, and this is purely based on memory, if you took the ramp, you could jump off the right side of the cruise ship, crash into the solarium where there's a green room, and it has two levels of rails that go all the way around in an oval, and you could basically break any scoring record on that. I think my highest score for like Pro Skater 3, this was back in 2001-02 when I was spending countless hours in my room gaming, was like 750,000. I think I scored one time, because even if the time runs out, if you're on a trick, you can continuously do the trick. Right. So it's basically, you're not doing anything really clever. You're just trying to keep a grind across both rails back and forth for over 2 minutes, like one singular move, and then you have to land it. But that was my favorite thing to do.
So sick.
Yeah, it was great. It was great because it was I think it was a mindless game. I think that's what also made it so successful, is you didn't have to think too hard to play it. Sure, you had to collect skate, you had to do certain tricks.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like there's some intense storyline you got to pay attention.
Oh, right.
Like if you really want to just zone out for all these levels, you could just go back to a level you beat and then just try and get a new high score, which made it super fun. There was no pressure. There's all these goofy things of like, oh, you have to jump over the homeless guy, or you have to hit the cop car, whatever it was. It was just like, it was nice to escape the real world and go into that.
Yeah. Like it had this like aspirational quality to it where you could aspire to be a pro skater, this thing that you couldn't normally do. But there's also the cool thing about skateboarding in and of itself is that it's a solitary sport.
Yeah.
That you do by yourself, you can do with your boys, but you can just be doing by yourself, like wherever at your little skate park. And essentially all that you're doing when you're skateboarding is you're just trying to better yourself all the time. You're just more or less pushing the boundaries of what you think you can do. Oh, I hit a 3-stair before. Maybe I'll hit a 4-stair now.
Yeah.
Well, I've like dropped into a 5-foot half pipe of an air, hit a 6. I'll hit that right now.
Or even in your driveway or cul-de-sac. Like you could just sit there trying to do kickflips if you wanted to.
Now, the thing about skateboarding is like, you're probably going to eat shit. It's probably going to hurt. So you're probably going to
major turn off for me.
Bust up your shin. Yeah, you're going to break your freaking ankle. So now, yeah, exactly. Moneymaker right here. I don't know if you noticed, but this has been sitting here this entire one. But now you were able to do that at home and like actually hone and harness your skills and harness the level. And yeah.
Did it give you extra confidence? If you were like, when you were playing Tony Hawk, were you like, oh, I got this in the game, I bet I can do this now in real life? Did that ever like...
Not at all. No. The stuff that you're doing there was like so like illogical.
Let's jump over a pit of lava.
Or like the stringing of like the several tricks together, you know? Yeah. Like I'm going to hit a kick flip to like a Smith grind to a 50-50 and then jump to another rail. I mean... Nowadays, skateboarding is starting to come along that way where you can actually hit a sick trick into a grind and then hit another trick out. And it is amazing. I don't know if you've been keeping up with skateboarding at all.
Not at all.
But what like the younger kids are able to do nowadays is pretty wild. But I think it is because of this video game. I mean, even going back to Tony Hawk is like he really propelled so much of that stuff forward. Like he threw, I think, the first 900. Now several people have hit a 900. I think people have hit like a 1080 now. We are hitting like the limits of physics of human capability to an extent.
And they're doing it so much younger. Like the people doing these tricks now are like 10, 11, 12 years old.
There's a kid out of like Japan who is
that's what I just saw.
Oh,
he's like 12 years old.
He's 13. He's so sick. He's insane.
And he's doing these tricks like that it took like 30-year-olds to do
Right.
back in the day.
Incredibly technical.
It was like when, but I think like Tony Hawk also propelled how big the X Games became after it.
You're right. That's happening at the same exact time.
X Games became like primetime television. The only reason I had an interest in watching the X Games was because I got into Tony Hawk, and you're just like, oh, I want to see what tricks they do, or I want to see like what the BMX does or the inline skating. And then that bled into like, you had like, was it cool borders for PS1, like the snowboarding and the 1080.
Yeah, 1080.
SSX Tricky too. And that led to like the Winter X Games. Like there was such a boom right at the late 90s, early 2000s that led into, what would you call these? Adventure sports, I guess, or action sports.
Extreme sports.
Extreme sports.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, you had to tune in for Summer X Games. You had to tune in for like Shaun White in the Winter X Games and just see these ridiculous athletes do things like you never thought were possible. And it was such a fun time to see that evolve.
It really was, because it was like they didn't exist before. It's not like these were like around for a long time. Like snowboarding was brand new. Like when I first started snowboarding, there were still mountains in which you weren't allowed to snowboard.
Crazy.
Skateboarding kind of it came out of surfing, came out of California, and it was just because people were bored and wanted to like carve up. But because it was brand new, like, I don't know, it did feel like you were really a part of something. The thing that one of the things that I really liked about growing up with like skateboarding in Southern California is it felt really inclusive. For me, being brown, being Asian, I mean, even when we were just looking at the cast of Lords of Dogtown.
Wait, you're brown?
Right. No, but that's what I'm saying is like, there was no gatekeeping with the sport. It was like, now the culture is about a little bit about punk rock, a little bit about fuck you, but you know, you kind of do it anywhere, and you didn't have to be like, you know,
there's no
white,
there was no race involved. It was just like everybody came together to skate.
Totally, which I think part of that is maybe due to a little bit of surfing culture, where surfing was a sport that was born from Hawaiians, so the gatekeepers were actually like brown people, which is pretty cool. And we're like given that, you know, to like people who weren't brown. But yeah, that's always something like even Eric Costin, like you were talking about.
Yeah.
One of my favorite skaters, half Thai.
That's so dope.
And there's just like always been these pioneers within the culture itself where it's like, nope, it's nothing to do with like race or money really. It's about, I don't know, like, do you love this culture? Do you get down with it? Are you
willing to like injure yourself?
Are you down to send it?
Yeah.
Dude, go big or go home. Honestly, it's like, it is part of it. Like Johnny Tsunami would not have been made if this wasn't the same kind of part of the culture that was being rolled along.
And let's talk about like, I think when everybody thinks of Tony Hawk, they think about how they got their taste for music. Because especially for 90s kids, the late 90s, early 2000s, you're just on the precipice of becoming a teen, or you just became a teen. You're trying to figure out who you are. And again, with CDs exploding, creating your own CDs on LimeWire, Napster, making your own soundtracks. This shaped so many people's taste in music because you were just so exposed to it. Listen to some of the artists on Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. You had AFI, great. Yeah. Alien Ant Farm, so good. One of my favorite Michael Jackson remakes is by Alien Ant Farm.
The best, maybe? Yeah. KRS-One, Del the Funky Homo Sapien,
Papa Roach, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Exhibit,
No Effects,
Ozzy Osbourne, Exhibit. That's, oh my God, so good.
And that's another part of like skate is punk and it's hip hop.
Yeah.
It was touching on both of those things.
100%. Motorhead, the Ace of Spades, that song, I remember very vividly from how many different levels. What are the levels? So the levels in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, Foundry, Canada, Rio, Suburbia, Airport, Los Angeles, Skater Island, Tokyo, bonus level, of course, cruise ship, and oil rig, and warehouse that was a tribute to Pro Skater 1. That's so sick, dude.
Yeah, warehouse, that opening, I think that's the opening level on the very first one. So sick. Mine was Burnside, Portland.
I loved playing this game, playing with my friends, playing with my brother, exposing me to music I'd never heard before. And so I'm just like, that's why it's probably top 5 games for me all time.
Okay, so I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
I do want to respond to what you've just said. This game, when it came out and it had that soundtrack, that playlist, it was very similar to skate videos at the time. So back then, when you were an aspiring skateboarder, what you really wanted is you wanted to have a VHS tape.
A montage video.
Right.
Of all your tricks.
Of all of your highlights.
Yeah.
And you would be part of like the Toy Machine team. And they would have like 7 or 8 skateboarders.
Oh, yeah.
And you'd be featured on this VHS tape that were basically music videos. So they'd have songs in the background and you'd be hitting all of these tricks. Yeah. Do you remember this?
This just makes me think of like 2005, 2006. I'm at these like high school stoner parties.
Sure.
And they're just playing
Yes.
those snowboard
Yes.
montage
Yes.
videos. And it was, what was the song? There was one song on this video that was just on repeat for like 30 minutes. And it was just like people doing tricks on snowboards. And all it was like a montage of all these different snowboards. I just remember like a group of stoners just so blazed out of their mind watching this video. I was like, what the is happening right
I
now?
was one of those stoners.
Nice.
We would go over to the house and we would smoke weed and we would chill out and we would watch these videos and we would we'd be like, oh my God, look at that trick. And oh my God, he hit that and that was so huge. Da, da, da. And so when this video game was made, no video games before this really had a soundtrack like this, where you're actually listening to actual bands play good music. And we would spend hours playing these games. So, you put on any of these songs now, you're going to know word for word because you've listened to that song hundreds of times, maybe thousands of times.
I wish I could think of a song to sing it, but it was literally just the same song. It makes me think of 40-Year-Old Virgin when Paul Rudd walks into, he's like, if I have to listen to this song one more time, I'm literally gonna kill everybody.
In fact, the Yamo be here one more time. I'm gonna Yamo blow my brains out. Yeah.
And that's all I could think of when I was like in a minute 30 of this snowboarding video. Yeah. But it's so good. But it South Park made a spoof of it. Remember when Stan had that skiing competition in Aspen, and they had to make a montage of Stan learning how to ski.
He
races down the mountain. Literally all I could think of. But it was just a cool time, especially for you. That is such a unique experience being in SoCal during, I would say, this revolution of event like extreme sports. That's so cool.
Which I didn't know it at the time. It just was my life. Yeah. I was like, oh, everyone's probably having this experience.
You were literally part of the revolution. Like with Johnny Tsunami was probably introduced snowboarding to a ton of people who had never heard of it before.
Which honestly, I forget about all the time. Listening to that podcast today on The Ringer, that was like kind of blew my mind of like, oh, I'm preparing to do a podcast and someone else is talking about me on this podcast about the same thing that I'm trying to educate myself upon. Yeah, it was a pretty weird inception moment.
We'll give you an address to send residuals by use of likeness, by the way.
If anybody from The Ringer knows my name, like I'm set. So shout out to The Ringer. You guys are awesome.
And that's why he gets 2-cent checks, everybody.
Something I kind of want to introduce today was a nostalgia meter.
Ooh.
So basically on a scale of 0 to, I don't even know what is your 10. Where does Tony Hawk rank on your nostalgia meter? Now for this, it can be this kind of organic, intuitive thing that you can put together. We can put together specific points as to why it's there, but there's no wrong answer. And over time, I would love to kind of keep track of where this falls because different things, hit for you harder than for me and vice versa.
Like one bite, everybody knows the rules kind of thing.
Wait, what?
It was like Barstool when they're trying pizza. Dave trying pizza.
Yeah.
It's like one bite, everybody knows the rules.
Cool.
Where it's ranking system.
Sure.
I can't start off with like a 10 because that's ridiculous.
Tony Hawk's not a 10 for me either.
I'd probably put Tony Hawk as like a solid like 8.2 on.
Pretty high.
It is high, but I cannot tell you the amount of hours I put on this game. It is disgusting the amount of hours that I was in my room on my floor playing this game as a fat kid, and it was great. I lived out on a farm, so I was away from people. I couldn't just leave my house and go walk around the neighborhood to make friends. I was literally on 40 acres out in the prairie And this was for a long time my go-to. So I would say, yeah, it's high for me. Specifically Pro Skater 3, not the first one, but this one was good.
Tony Hawk is a franchise. You point to
High, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Without thinking too hard about it, I go with the 7.
No nuance. You're just going straight 7-0.
I don't know. I'm just trying to feel it out.
Gotcha.
You know?
Just a tip. Just see how it feels.
Yeah, exactly. 7 feels about right. While it was like really important to me, it didn't like fully consume my life in a way that.
Yeah, because you were filming movies, bro.
But that's part of it. It's like this happened when I was 15. Like when we're talking about Jurassic Park, when that came out and I was like 8.
Yeah.
That's a little bit higher because my worldview is a little bit smaller.
Got it.
You know, I don't know, 7-8 months after Tony Hawk comes out, I get my driver's license for the first time, and then like, so long, video games.
Yeah.
Like that was fun.
Yeah, I was still 13 when Pro Skater 3 came out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if I was your age at that, then you really are like getting together with your buddies. You're having sleepovers, and you're just playing this game.
Correct. And I attribute this to like in this right around the time of puberty too, of like so much change was going on. And when you think of Pro Skater 3, you know, PS2 just came out the year before.
Right.
Like that was
massive as well.
PS2 is the highest selling console of all time by like a wide berth. And these
it might
graphics,
be the best console of all time. That's for another episode.
That is a fair argument.
But yeah.
But these graphics, when you're talking about the jump from PS1 or N64 to PS2 was crazy. Reverse compatibility, could play PS1, could play PS2. The graphics were insane. You could play music on them too. Yeah. And DVDs also, you could play DVDs on PS2. So it was just like, all in one. And it was just a crazy console. So for me, right at becoming, you know, a teenager, so much change, hormones are flowing. I attribute to like those memories in junior high, just dominating that cruise ship. That's all I fucking did.
Dope, dude.
Was it? Maybe not.
No. I think it was sick. I remember the feeling of like when you and a buddy actually conquered that game.
Yeah, because you would take turns, right? Because you only got 2 minutes. It's like 2 minutes to beat whatever missions you needed to before you could go on and unlock the next level.
Right.
And it's like
you got to watch your buddy play.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just like those were the best.
And then you would do the head-to-head on the split screen of who can get more points on the level. Or you could run into each other.
Correct. So good.
Good times. Good times, friend.
Well, thank you, skateboarding. Skateboarding, so sick. I mean,
thank you, Tony Hawk.
Even like last year, I had a buddy come out and visit me. A guy that my buddy Paul. What's up, Paul? That used to me and him would like bomb hills together.
And would he make fun of you for skating Mongo too?
Oh my god. Okay, so we actually do need to bring this up. So people have commented that I skate Mongo, which is basically I skate goofy, but I pedal regular. Now I am ambidextrous in my life. And I'm weird. I don't know how else to say it. I shoot basketball left. I throw baseball right. I bowl right, but I play hockey left. If a soccer ball is on the ground, I want to kick it with my right foot, but if I pick it up, I want to kick it with my left foot. So
weird.
Yeah, I'm clearly abnormal and irregular, and the wires are crossed in here in some weird way. And it has materialized in the way in which I skateboard, and I've been shamed online publicly.
And I'm about it.
To which I said, all of you guys, fuck you.
Respectfully.
Yeah. Lovingly, fuck you.
But still subscribe.
And to all my other like Mongo skaters out there, I see you. I hear you, bro. Like, anyway. Love skateboarding. Thanks for doing this one with me.
That's great.
I grew up with
this dude.
I grew up with a Baker skateboards banner in my room growing up, and a Flip banner because I'm Filipino. Those are like two of my favorite skateboard companies. So shout out to Baker, shout out to Flip,
shout out to Tony Hawk
sponsors. Shout out to Tony Hawk, the legend. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for following. See you guys next time.